Hi, so before moving on away from sedimentary rocks, I just wanted to make sure that we are clear on all of the rock samples that we looked at and how they relate to things we've already studied. So to begin with, we had a purple banded sandstone, and we noticed that it had purple coloring and lots of banding, and we knew that that means that it was deposited by a river. And we also had another yellow one that looked very, very similar to this purple one. Okay, and you can see the different bandings and the different layers. Generally, the darker layers mean that it was deposited in calmer environments and probably took longer to deposit than the lighter colored thick bands. So both of these are called banded sandstone, and both of them are examples of clastic sedimentary rocks. The third one that we looked at was a red sandstone. It was probably deposited in an area with rushing water as well, but it has red coloring, which indicates that it probably was deposited in an oxygen-rich environment, so fast-moving water. The fourth one that we looked at was a limestone, and we talked about how limestone has the mineral calcite in it, and so it effervesces with hydrochloric acid. And we talked about how there is acid rain in our environment. It's not going to burn your skin, but over time that that dissolves the calcite and it dissolves the limestone. And so areas that have a lot of limestone, like Harrisonburg, Virginia, are going to have a lot of caves, caverns, and sinkholes because that rain seeps through the soil and can dissolve or erode the rock beneath the soil. We also learned that limestone is a carbonate rock, and that is an example of an organic sedimentary rock. The next one that we talked about is conglomerate, and we learned that a conglomerate rock is a clastic rock, but it is made of pebbles and larger fragments of rock. This is clastic because it is made up of fragments of another rock, and it probably was deposited in an area with high energy, so a rapid river. It's probably deposited very, very quickly over a short period of time. We looked at another example of limestone, or maybe it's a dolostone, similar. They're both carbonate rocks. Both of them effervesce with hydrochloric acid, and both of them are found in areas like Harrisonburg, where there are lots of caves and caverns. Another thing that we should mention is that limestone is found in the Virginia Valley and Ridge province and is what makes up the valley part of the Valley and Ridge. Another organic rock that we looked at is a rock called coquina, which is made up mostly of shells. It's a sedimentary rock made almost entirely of bits and pieces of shells, like seashells, that are deposited near like the ocean shelf. This is an example of coquina. And then we discovered a very interesting type of sedimentary rock. This is called an oolitic limestone, and the oolitic limestone is evidence of chemical action. So this is a chemical sedimentary rock. So if it's regular limestone, it's organic, but oolitic limestone is a chemical rock. And we also looked at coal. Coal is, of course, an organic sedimentary rock. It is formed by swamps and areas with lots of moss and plants and very wet environments. And it's compressed, compacted, cemented into a sedimentary rock known as coal. And there are multiple different, the deeper and the more compressed the coal is, the higher grade of coal. And so you have different types of coal, bituminous coal, lots of different layers of lots of different grades of coal. So they will look different depending on the type of coal you have. And then the very last one is also important to energy. This is shale. It's a clastic sedimentary rock. And when we talked about natural gas, we talked about the Marcellus shale. So this is an example of shale. You can see that it's thin, forms little layers, and when this is metamorphosed, it turns into slate. So both shale and coal are very important in energy. And that's about it.